In order for me to be able to tell you how I connected here, I need to give you a little background about my life. I was 50 years old. I had only known chaos and addiction and dysfunction my entire life. I thought that was the way you were supposed to live and had never lived any different. My husband committed suicide because of his addiction. And my nephew, Robert Marcotte, and his wife, Heather, were attending Crossing Place. I had seen such an amazing change in their life. They're not like that now, but they were two of the most negative people I had ever met. They were always complaining. It seemed like my entire family life was just a struggle. And after Carr died, I was just completely lost. I didn't know that life could be any different, but I saw in Robert and Heather such an amazing change. And I wasn't sure what caused it, but I knew it told me enough for me to want to come to the Crossing Place and try and find out what it is that they had found. And that's how I connected here. It was because of them. And, words didn't mean anything to me because I have been lied to so much. So it took being able to see God in them, or I didn't know it was God at the time, but just see the change in them and to be willing to come here and give it a chance. The reason why I'm still here at Crossing Place after 13 years is God. We have had our ups and downs. I've seen pastors come and go. But through all of that, God has been promising that it was going to be better, that the best was yet to come, and to just hold on. God has never left. He is still here, and that's why I'm here. There's no reason for me to go anywhere else. I know that now I'm going to start seeing everything that he promised come through fruition. There are actually two most significant experiences that I've had here at the Crossing Place Fellowship. The first was coming to the realization that life did not have to be as difficult, that it is never too late to discover and live the life that God has designed for you. And it took me 50 years to get there. And the second was finding my own salvation. I think there could be nothing greater than that. Everything here, everything that I've experienced here has been something that it took my whole life to get to. I often say I spent 50 years in the darkness, and I'm going to spend the next 50 years in the light. And, sometimes we believe or think that people just don't choose to do the right thing or choose to come to follow God and do what they're meant to do. But I'm a living testimony to the fact that not everybody knows that that's a possibility. But once I did know that, I knew that was the only way that I wanted to live. It's not just talk. It's living God and showing God to others through our actions. Crossing Place Fellowship, first and foremost, I love the authenticity. What you see is what you get. This is not a church of righteous people. This is a church of forgiven people. And, that is very rare that you see that today. The vision is in line with God. Everything that is done, everything that is done after prayer. It is done with going to God first, only after going to God first. The fellowship, the family. You know, I had such a hard time growing up. I had just not a very good view of what family was. But I found that here. I didn't know what it was like to have a church family. And that is an amazing attribute of this church, because it is truly a family. It's nothing for show. You know, it's, if you're in crisis, we're here for you. If, you know, you're having something to be joyous about, we celebrate with you. You know, I never had that in my life. And you find that here. It is also an excellent representation of this community. It's not a white church, it's not a black church. It's like this community is. It is an everything church. And we welcome everyone here. You know, when you've walked the walk that wasn't God-driven and you were forgiven, you know, you're going to be very forgiving of others. You have been there where most people have been that come into this church, and we welcome you with open arms. You know, you never know who you're sitting on the side of, you know, what path they've taken in life, but I can guarantee that 90% of the people in this church have not always been in church and have lived life, maybe not always on the right side. But we found God, we found forgiveness, and we're here. We're here for whoever needs us. This church has such vision for this community and is just a driving force on community outreach. You know, that we're just beginning that, but I can see that is going to be another area. Crossing Place isn't just a church. It makes me a part of the body of Christ.